Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and the indices are not looking that great. Not too bad either, but slightly bearish. And yesterday itself, I was thinking that the market should be going down because we are already on stretched valuation. But I don't know when it's going to pop because we are at very stretched valuations, and I have taken out all my cash as much as possible. I'm mostly in cash except for some few stocks here and there. And yesterday in another account, I bought a little bit of gold ETF. I have a little bit of Bitcoin ETF in a separate account. So those are the two things that I have done because it seems like the Magnificent Seven are kind of consolidating and the other stocks are probably picking up some value. But when I look at stocks like Altimmune that I have, they're not showing any growth. It seems like I have specifically picked up only those stocks which are not going to do very well. And among our live stream audience, retail investors, I guess many of you have had this feeling that when you pick up a stock, it doesn't go up, it doesn't go further with when everybody else moves. So that's the way I'm feeling today. So a bit discouraged, but we'll still find a way to make some money by the end of the year. That's the story, I think, of every retail investor. And yeah, so that said, I think that putting tariffs, reciprocal tariffs across the globe is probably a smart way of making sure that your export and import relations are much more balanced. But practically, in terms of what's going to happen to people who live in the United States in terms of inflation, is a different story altogether. And it seems that the stock market is discounting all those tectonic shifts that are happening in the US in terms of the financial markets, everything that underpins the financial markets. I think that whole thing is being ignored by the stock market. But again, I'm a retail investor. What do I know? I would like to hear from you guys from our ShareTreck community. What do you think about it? Do you think that there is no risk at all that I'm looking at something that doesn't exist? Or is the market just willfully ignoring all those tectonic shifts that are happening in the underlying? For example, what I'm thinking is happening right now is that if you're looking at getting more and more money coming through tariffs, then you have to give the consumer a little bit of relief, which would probably mean reducing the income tax. But if you reduce income tax, it's only going to help those people who have income. And those people who do not have income, they are going to have problems, which is going to get exacerbated because the tariff increase is not compensated for them. And we are nowhere close to universal basic income. Plus, we have got AI trying to reduce employment and increase productivity. So there's a whole lot of things going on. And the world, the way we know it, is going to change. I don't see any of that thought being reflected in the stock market because it's continuing to go up, up and up. Maybe today also going to be another day of going up because the pre-market is not looking as bearish as it should for the markets to go down. I may be wrong. We'll see what happens. But having said that, I want to go and start having a look at our fear and greed index. We have to revisit this again. And right now, the market is in neutral. So probably I would say that they are just thinking, trying to take a bearing of where we are right now. Maybe they are starting to consider what I have been considering for a while. So we'll see what happens when the market opens. But right now, if we look at our futures, Nasdaq futures are looking mildly bearish, minus 0.18% in the pre-market action, and we are right on top of our resistance of 22,079.75. We are at 22,074.50. So I think we are just trying to decide what to do. But if I was to look at the MACD and the momentum, it seems like MACD indicates that there is strength. Momentum is above average. That's a good thing, but it's a bit flat right now. And it will remain flat until the market decides to go one way or the other. So I'm not getting anything from this today in the morning. If I look at S&P 500 E-mini futures, they're mildly down by 0.16%. Again, they're going to face a resistance, which is going to be at 6159.25. MACD is telling a good story. Momentum is above average, good, but it is still not picking up. It's a bit flat. So the decision on what will happen with the markets is still resting on the market open. That's the way I would look at it. And I'm going to go and take a quick look at the 10-year yields. The 10-year yields have dropped down and they are below the 21-day exponential moving average. So this is looking pretty good in my opinion, because the yields coming down would mean a bit of relief for the stock market. Now, having said that, I would like to go and have a look at the indicators. Dow Jones, the way we ended yesterday was we were up 0.77%. We are looking pretty good on the charts as of yesterday. MACD was on the mend. Momentum was picking up. What will happen today is anybody's guess, because the indices futures that we saw were all looking bearish. S&P 500, it did a 1.04% gain yesterday, and it broke out of the diagonal line of resistance of the bull flag that we had. So I'm going to convert this into support, and we'll see whether we are going to build a base out here and start creating new higher highs and higher lows. And of course, we have this diagonal line of resistance that has been coming with us from a long time. This is a bull channel that we have been riding on, and that's the resistance for the bull channel. And we also have our cup and head, a reverse head and shoulder target, which was at 6137.03. And I think we are coming closer to that at this point of time. And maybe we'll meet that today. That could be the culmination of a target that can be reached, and then probably sideways and down. That's also a possibility. MACD is good. Momentum is also picking up as of close of yesterday. So that's the way the picture looks like. And Russell Index, even though it looks bearish yesterday, it ended up gaining 1.13%. And this morning it has gained 0.13 in the pre-market session, and it's just hovering above the 21-day exponential. And we have a resistance here at 226.63. We are just below it. So everything is poised like Goldilocks. And I think that market open will determine what happens. Right now, I don't have a clue. Our PCC is, I would say, neutral, and VIX is very low. And we have converted our support of 15.88 into a resistance, which is again a good thing. Everything is subsided, and the volatility seems to be under control right now, but it can just splurge anytime. We have seen that happen in the past. But we have been in placid waters for a few days now. That said, I want a quick look at gold, and gold is continuing to move on its way up. Yesterday, as I said, I picked up a bit of gold ETFs. So I know that gold is going to consolidate because RSI is overbought. But I'm thinking that gold still has got a lot of opportunity to go up, because USD is the reserve currency, and the experiments that are happening in the US right now in terms of knocking out departments, removing the FDIC and reciprocal tariffs and extra tariffs, all those things, I think they are all going to have some kind of an impact on US dollars, and gold in US dollar terms is going to become more expensive. And I have done this experiment before also, this example in the channel. I had taken the price of a house, average house 20 years ago, and divided it by the price of gold per ounce 20 years ago, and got the price of the house, average house 20 years ago in gold ounces, and converted the current average price of a house into gold price by dividing it by the price of gold and seeing how many ounces it was. And we saw that it takes less ounces of gold to buy the same house from 20 years ago. So that gives me an idea that gold is going to retain value. It may not move in a straight line up, but ultimately value will be preserved. So I'm moving a little bit of my portfolio into gold, and I think I'm on the right track at this point of time. It may consolidate, it may go down a little bit, but ultimately when compared to US dollars, I think gold is going to preserve value. That's my thought process. And of course, I'll respond to your comments also in a short while. And let me continue with this thought process. So having said that, let's go on and have a look at the market breadth. You can see that the market breadth is improving. So I'm thinking that most of the index gains or maintenance of levels is coming from stocks other than the MAG 5, MAG 6, MAG 7. And that's what is a bit confusing at this point of time. And let's go on to look at genomics first. Verb, after having gone up significantly, is starting to give up gains. But yesterday we started up much higher, and then we dropped 4.10%. And we are still above the 21-day exponential, so not too worried about that. Still above the 200-day exponential. We have a golden cross, which is a bullish sign. We met and exceeded the target that we had, cup and handle target we had of 8.59. But right now, all the vitals are going weak. MACD is weak, momentum is also weak. So I would say that things are not looking that great for Verb at this point of time. And we have earnings coming up on 26th of Feb. It could be pre-earning jitters. They're looking to confirm all their bullishness. So post-earning, we'll see some reaction. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 2.29%. I think that Ginkgo has started its way back up because if you look at what happened from September 9th onwards, we have seen a jump, a consolidation, a little bit of drop, again a jump, and then a consolidation, and then a jump. I think we are in the consolidation mode with the next jump in sight. That's the way I would think about it. And for that to become true, we need a golden cross. We need the 21-day exponential to cross the 200-day. Right now, MACD is getting slightly better after having become bearish. Momentum is also picking up. We have the earnings coming up on 27th Feb. Maybe we get a catalyst out there. We get the crossover, the golden cross, and then things should be good. Caribou Biosciences, no trades before in the pre-market session, and we have our resistance at 1.31. We are exactly on top of it as we ended yesterday, and we'll have to see what happens today when the market opens. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 4.90% in pre-market trades. As I mentioned, that if we complete this leg of the shoulder, then we have a cup and handle target of 51.82, and I think we are marching in that direction today. And pre-market gain of 4.9 takes us to 45.62. And if you look at this resistance here, it's at 44.58, which means we have already overshot that. And we wanted to be above 44.95 in order to complete the head and shoulder, reverse head and shoulder. That's happening out here. So I think our target is now confirmed, 51.69 reverse head and shoulder target for CRISPR Therapeutics. So that's my personal opinion. Again, things can go wrong, but it looks really good to me from here. So all CRISPR shareholders, you're in for a treat, in my opinion. And if you look at Grail, it's down 2.05% after having gained 33.93% yesterday. And we have earnings coming up on 26th February. So there's going to be a little bit of jitters here and there, a bit of profit taking. All those people who have run up so much of gains, they might be looking to take some profit. So I think today we might be in a consolidation or a profit taking session, because we have our RSI limit also being reached. In the past, when we reached this level in RSI for Grail, we have dropped down. I think it's going to be repeated today. Prime is up 0.19% in pre-market trades, still below the 21-day exponential. Lot of improvements needed. Beam up 2.41% in pre-market trades, just shy of 29.41, which is the resistance that we have. We are at 29.31, looking very good on the charts. More growth in store for Beam. Altimmune is down 0.64%. As I lamented, this is one stock I picked up because of my conviction that drove me to pick it up, and it's just languishing out here. There is no news on pemvidutide, and of course I took profit on half of my holdings of Altimmune, but the other half is in deep red right now. I bought it in some $8.25 or something in that price range. So it's looking terrible, but I'm going to hold on to it. It's not a big part of my portfolio. Chart is not looking good out here. Bluebird Bio is up 0.69% in pre-market trades. It's going to challenge the resistance at 7.51. Right now it's at 7.30, just jumping above the 21-day exponential. That's a good thing in my opinion, but MACD needs improvement. Momentum has to go above average. If that happens this morning, then I think we are looking at some positive news for Bluebird Bio, and we'll look at the technicals. We'll go into the time frames and see if we can get any clues. Next, let us look at Allogene, which is up 6.38% in pre-market trades after having dropped 1.40% yesterday. And MACD and momentum still need a lot of improvement. It's a dead cat bounce in my opinion. Earnings due on 26th of February. mRNA is down 1.94% in pre-market trades, and it's still way below the 21-day exponential, very weak on the charts. ARCG is up 1.41%. It is broken above this bull flag that we had. That's a big positive. Yesterday it gained 3.29%. It's all good. I still need to see the MACD going bullish. Momentum is going to help it this morning, so that could happen, and we need to form support level out here. This upper level of resistance of the bull flag will become the support, and I hope now we have had enough consolidation to start a bull channel out here. That said, PACB was up 8.82% yesterday. We had earnings. I'll make a separate video on that. EPS was a beat out there. We managed to do better, but the revenue has dropped. It has dropped 2.18% as compared to the estimate. So that's a little bit of a disappointment out there. However, the share was rewarded. And this morning it's losing some of the luster out there. It's still below the 21-day exponential. MACD is still bearish. Momentum is still below average. And we are below the 200-day exponential. Overall, a bearish story. Intelia is down 0.21% after gaining 1.37% yesterday. It still happens to be above the diagonal line of support from a previous bear channel, and it's still below the 21-day and the 200-day exponential. MACD is looking good, but momentum needs a whole lot of improvement. I don't see that happening in the pre-market. Illumina is up 0.81%. It's consolidating and forming a base out here in my opinion. IMTX is not showing any kind of movement in pre-market. There is no trades as such. Yesterday was a gain of 0.39. It was a very, very narrow range of trading, and there was a long leg for the candle. I don't know what's going to happen with IMTX unless it gets some catalyst. I can imagine it's going to consolidate out there. We still have a resistance out here, which is at 5.34. Next, let's look at Editas, which has got no trades pre-market, and we have Iowa with a loss of 0.19% in pre-market trades, still very bearish, below 21-day and 200-day exponential. MACD is okay, but momentum is at the very bottom. Dead cat bounce is probably what is happening out here. Unicure is down 1.31% pre-market, and it's below the 21-day exponential. Not looking great on the charts either. Vertex is also down 0.29% in pre-market trades after gaining 2.07 yesterday. And it's still on the bull channel. It's still above the 21-day and the 200-day exponential. A golden cross already formed. Everything is looking bullish here. Even momentum is in favor. But we have a problem with the MACD. The MACD is tending towards the bearish side, and there has been a bit of disappointment with the EPS. I think that's starting to show in the market. And that brings me to an end of genomics, and let's go on to look at AI quickly. AI, Google is down 0.42% in pre-market trades. I think the Mag 7 are going to start to consolidate and lose value today. MACD is not looking that great, even though it's improving. Momentum is also below average. And if you look at Tesla, that 400 armored, Tesla trucks, that was the news that came out that has given this boost. And Tesla is going from strength to strength. It has converted another resistance at 346 into a support. So Tesla is looking pretty good to me today, and it has got to face a resistance at 360.19, and that also I think it has broken through, because pre-market it's at 361.50. So I'll convert this into a support tomorrow. But right now we are looking at the 21-day exponential, which is at 378.48 as being a resistance, and that is in conjunction with a horizontal resistance at 378.02. So very, very tough resistance for Tesla today. Let us see what it can do. MACD is mending, but momentum is still below average. A lot of interest is coming back into Tesla. And then we look at Apple, which is down 0.24% in pre-market trades after having gained 1.97% yesterday. and we are still above the 21-day exponential. MACD, momentum, both are looking good. So I think Apple should manage a turnaround. And then we are looking at Meta as well. And I'm thinking that when it comes to Meta, it's a super strong stock as far as the charts are concerned. But when I look at the overall market situation, I think that Meta is ready to pop, but I don't know when that is going to happen, because the chart is looking super strong, stronger than it should be, because we are above this super RSI level that we have for Meta, where it has turned around in the past. We have shot over that and we are still gaining. So I don't know what the hell is happening with Meta, but I think soon we'll form a bearish divergence, and that could be an indicator that Meta is going to fall, because you can see the MACD is moving towards the bearish side, and probably we may see a divergence out there. Microsoft is still struggling. It's at 0.19. It has lost 0.19 in the pre-market session. It has not been able to go anywhere near closing the gap down, and the MACD is trying to improve. Momentum is almost flat and below average. So Microsoft needs a lot of efforts to come up, but I think a death cross is ready to form. The 21-day exponential is moving very fast towards the 200-day exponential, and if that cross forms, that is more bearish signs for Microsoft. So I'm a little bit disappointed out here. Amazon is down 0.36% in pre-market trades. It was up 0.63% yesterday. Again, Amazon is also giving up a lot of gains, and it is coming down. And still, if you see the indices moving up, that could be because of non-Mag 7 stocks. And MACD and momentum both are not looking that great for Amazon. And we look at NVIDIA, having created this gap down, it is trying to fill it up. Pre-market, it's up 0.13% after gaining plus 3.16% yesterday. So I've still got a lot of holdings of NVIDIA. I re-entered after having taken profit, and it's all looking good right now. MACD is good. Momentum is also good. We have got earnings coming up on 26th February 2025. And with all this profit taking and consolidation and base forming, and then the drop happening due to the DeepSeek news, I still maintain that DeepSeek has got nothing to do with semiconductor success. Because even if you come with a great algorithm which improves the performance on older chips, newer, faster chips are going to give you even much more gains and ability to come up with much better use cases, which could not have been tackled in the past with weaker CPUs. So I'm thinking that NVIDIA definitely has got to do better, and it's going to go up further. And I think that our cup and handle target of 187.43 may probably come back into play. That's my personal opinion, of course, not financial advice. I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think? I'm still invested in NVIDIA. And let's go to Qualcomm, which is down 0.49%. I have a little bit of holdings of Qualcomm. I'm still looking at the cup and handle target of 200.45 pre-market. It doesn't seem that great, but I think it'll pick up during the market open. AMD is up 0.40% today after gaining 0.08%. I'm still not thinking that AMD is out of the woods, but if we start creating a bit of higher highs and higher lows and creating a new bull channel, then I might probably bite. But right now, if AMD starts taking Intel's business, then that could be a positive. And I would think that Intel is continuing to move up, basically because it's getting a lot of government money, and that is helping it out. The fact that AMD doesn't have data center revenues makes me feel that unless it eats Intel's lunch, it's not going to go up. I don't know what's happening out there. We'll watch the news. And if any of you have got a feeling of what's happening to AMD in comparison with Intel, please put that in the comment section. I could use all your inputs. Then we look at Broadcom, which is down 0.46% in pre-market trades. It's kind of consolidating out there in anticipation of earnings. This is custom semiconductors. I think it has got its place apart from NVIDIA. I think between NVIDIA and AMD, I would put AVGO in the second place. And then we have Oracle, which is down 0.27% after gaining 0.95% yesterday. It's trying to fill this gap. It almost came very close, and it still has not completed the gap fill, which is on both sides, up and down. So I'm looking forward to that happening anytime soon. It should happen before we go for earnings. And then we look at Palantir, which is down 0.80% after gaining 0.44% yesterday. This gap down needs to be filled up. This is a very steep raise, super heavy valued. And if we are proceeding with the concept that the government is going to cut down its cost and reduce its expenses, knock out departments, that means that there are lesser departments which could probably use Palantir. At the same time, we can also argue that the government is going to deploy more of AI in order to improve government productivity and have less employees. So I'm really confused which way to go with Palantir, but given my risk profile, I wouldn't touch Palantir, because if it goes down, I would be a big time loser. If it goes up, there could be major gains, but for young people, I think Palantir would be a good play, not for a retiree like me. And Micron is up 1.42%, showing a lot of strength. It's crossed over the 21-day exponential. It's aiming for the 200-day. I think it's on the mend. MACD is also bullish. I would probably buy it a little bit into Micron. If it wasn't for the overall economic condition in the US, all those tectonic shifts I was talking about, I would then definitely buy it. Cloudflare is down 0.48% after gaining around 2.12% yesterday. I would argue that we are overbought, RSI is overheated, and it's got to consolidate and give a little bit before it goes up again. So expect for Cloudflare to drop, and it could create some purchasing conditions. And then we have Adobe, which continues to move up. Yesterday it lost 0.76%, but pre-market it's up again 0.37%. I have a little bit of Adobe on the Canadian side in one of my portfolios, and its cup and handle target is 478.65. It's still got a lot of room to go up, and I think it will go up. Then we look at SMCI, which is up 1.32% today after gaining 6.55%. For those people who like to play with risk, maybe there's an opportunity out there. We have a cup and handle target of 49.60 or 49.90, something in that range. I think that might come to pass. ARM Holdings is down 1.15% after gaining 6% yesterday. If you recollect, I was very pessimistic about ARM Holdings yesterday. I thought it's going to drop further, but it made a about turn and it came up. And let us see the news out here. Nvidia cut stake in ARM Holding, invests in China's VRide. That's 27 minutes ago, and that's what is giving that 1.14% drop out here. And I don't know what's happening with ARM Holding. If I don't know, I don't touch it, but I can see definitely a trend out here. If you look at joining the top lines of these lower highs, then we have a bear channel forming. I'm going to make this red. So we need to break through that in order to make any positive moves for ARM Holdings. And then look at ASML, which is down 0.07% after gaining 2.75% yesterday. So there seems to be some kind of a resistance out here, but I'm still optimistic that we are going to reach our cup and handle target of 794.77 or 795, something in that range with ASML. Intel is up again 2.49% in pre-market trades. I'm very tempted to get into this, but I dare not. There's this triple bottom target. I think it's trying to meet that target. We missed the call. I missed the call out here for this triple bottom. Sorry about that, but I think we have lost the boat on this one. Then we have SMH, which is down 0.32% in pre-market trades. MACD is looking good. Momentum is also looking good, so it has got to pick up. AVAV is something that I've been tracking. I have a small holding. Again, this is one of those things which is not doing well. So I have two stocks which are not doing very well. And if we assume that MAG 7 is not giving any more gains and the rest of the market is picking up, I have the dubious distinction of picking two stocks from among the thousands that are the only ones that are not going to gain at this point of time. Yay! That's what we retail investors do. So that's again another failure for this year for me. Look at Snowflake. It's up 0.33% in pre-market trades. I have a cup and handle target for Snowflake of 225. Of course, I have not bought any of these things. It's too expensive for me. I don't have the kind of money. I have cash sitting in the portfolio, but I don't want to take the risk at this point of time. This target still looks good for me for Snowflake. HBI is flat in pre-market trades. It dropped significantly. I have significant losses out here. I'd be looking forward to bailout, but again, it's a very small position. Even Altimmune is a small position that I have. and AVAV is also a very small position, but together all of them become a slightly bigger chunk. So I want to get out of all those things this year. I want to focus on FNGU and just make money from there if possible, because this is the third year of the bull market, and third years are usually choppy and they provide a lot of opportunity for swing trading. So I want to look at that aspect, and I want to do XXX leverage in there and just focus on one share. Next, we look at Netflix. It's up 0.14% after gaining 1.59% yesterday. I'm thinking it's long overdue to fill this gap down. You can see that the MACD is also moving towards the signal line. The RSI overbought is somewhere around 82%. We are still not there, so there is still room before it falls. And then Dell continued to gain and then consolidated, and yesterday it dropped 2.36%. Today it's moderately up, but the MACD is moving towards the signal line. Momentum is just on average. So I think it's moderating before its earnings, which are due on the 27th of Feb. So we'll watch out for that. And then we have Rigetti, which is down 1.06% in pre-market trades. Again, I have got big losses on Rigetti. That's a decent sized position. I had 300, I booked loss on 100. I gained a little bit on covered calls, but I'm still deeply in the red with the remaining 200 shares of Rigetti. SMR, I have bought a call on SMR, and I'm still hoping that it's going to touch 32.57. And the call, I think it's slightly negative. Hopefully, I'll see that go positive today. Next, we are looking at VRT. VRT is not showing any gains as such, so I'm going to just drop VRT for the time being. That's a distant play for us. So that brings me to a end of my analysis, and I'm going to look at the comment section. And Inf and David Best both are here. Hi David and hi Inf. This is interaction time on the comment section, and let's say, I was going to say hi guys, to say hi to both of you. Okay, let me quickly look at what you have said and see if there is any question to answer. mRNA did not do very well. I think they are scaling down a little bit, so it's not looking good. But let's go back into mRNA and have a look there, because we need to take a good look at mRNA. Here we are, and look at the earnings. They have EPS down and revenue is up, but their outlook shows that they're going to scale down their business. That's what I gathered from the quick look of earnings that I had. Let us look at the news out here. Moderna falls on bigger than expected loss on weak demand for vaccines. So analyst Q4 loss of 2.91 per share versus analyst estimate of loss of 2.68 per share, and mRNA post Q4 revenue of 966 million, beating analyst expectation of 942.84 million. Company says the decrease was mostly due to the earlier launch of its updated COVID-19 vaccine in the US, which shifted sales into the third quarter, but also due to lower international sales. And another thought I have here, guys, is that I'm thinking that maybe there's going to come a time when we don't need any more COVID vaccines, so that revenue stream is going to go away. Maybe we are coming closer to that. So that's what I'm thinking about mRNA. And then we are looking at the next question. I bought some ETH yesterday, says Infia. ETH is also a good bet because it's severely beaten down. Let me go into the charts and go into currencies. So here we have the currencies, and if you look at BTC USD, I think BTC USD has a good chance of picking up out here. MACD is on the mend. Momentum is also picking up. It's trying to go above average. So I'm optimistic that ETH has to come up. BTC has to come up. And if you look at ETH is also trying to recover, but it has been beaten down a lot. Unlike the consolidation that we saw in Bitcoin, ETH has dropped. And those of you who have got Bitcoin, probably you could swap it into ETH and ride the way up with ETH and then get back into Bitcoin. That's another possibility to gain some value, real value in the portfolio. ETH is doing the crossover out here, and it's going to start picking up. So there is possibility that even if you stay in ETH, you're still going to gain value. What you want to do depends on yourself, but momentum is still very low on ETH. And I think it's about time that ETH gets its its spot under the sunlight or limelight, as they say. And I'm going to draw this line out here to show you the resistance that we have. And I've joined these two candles and those wicks. So this is the line of resistance that we had to break through. And we have a death cross also here for ETH. It has to form a golden cross before we can get too excited about it. And yeah, Solana is also pottering around. It dropped a lot, but it's consolidating and it should start moving up soon. I think this 200-day exponential is going to provide a good support for Solana. So that was my thoughts around the cryptos. Now let's go down further and see what else is out there. Infosys Agri should drop taxes with tariffs, but that disproportionately affects wealthy and business. Yeah, they are not going to drop it for wealthy. I think that's it's going to be a dog's breakfast with the US, but then I could be a bit biased being a Canadian. Next, I'm looking at what David is saying here. David says, I agree. David says GameStop is considering investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Yes, David, not only GameStop, but also there are many other companies in S&P 500 which might use that if the government kind of gives a green light. I think there is some talk out there. Probably that's going to end up contaminating the crypto world and bringing the worst of crypto into the stock market and the worst of stock market into crypto. Then I think gold becomes special, because gold is still something that does not have a reciprocal party. So once you pay money and buy gold, you have the gold, that's it. There is no defaults. But if you buy an ETF, for example, for gold, which is what I have done, I think there is a counterparty. It's the ETF company, which is with a custodian. Anything can go wrong there. In the gold world, people are now starting to take deliveries. So I recently saw a chart, and I'll do a separate video on the gold and crypto separately. I have an idea that I want to share with you guys, but that chart shows that more and more people are asking for delivery in the COMEX market, which kind of indicates that people are suspecting that there is not sufficient physical gold that is being sold. So that's what is happening out there, and it could also have bearing on everything else. Then what else is happening here? Joe Williams, hi Joe. Why was AVAV attractive? AVAV was attractive for me because, let me just say hi to you. Yeah, AVAV was very attractive to me because I read articles about AVAV that talk about them being a leading player in drones. And I'm thinking that going forward, the way the Ukraine war is going, we see a lot of improvisations in drones, using cardboard drones and using drones of different types. That's what is giving them the ability to fight, and it increases the productivity of the soldiers as well and the army as well in the actual battlefield. And with AI coming in, and I've also seen these celebrations where people create dragons using light shows using drones. So the same capability can be used to create swarms of drones to attain tactical advantage in the battlefield. So I'm thinking that going forward, instead of spending billions of dollars on buying a fleet of fighter jets, there'll be lesser fighter jets, more of drones. Drones will be for reconnaissance, drones would be for attack purposes, and any other applications they may have in the battlefield. So I think a lot of budget is going to go in for drones. And AVAV, I thought, was a leader in that section, at least I think still. So that was my attraction. So if you have any thoughts in that area, if it is contrary, please, I would like to hear that so that I get some sanity check on that area. I'm still holding on to AVAV. I'm expecting it to go up, because even if they cut defense budgets to save money, I think drones will be the beneficiary in that case, because big ticket items may go down, but in order to maintain the offense capability, drones might go up. That's my thought. So that was the answer out there. So guys, thanks for joining me. There is always a lag between when I speak and when you guys hear it. So I'm going to just give a few moments of pause before I decide to terminate this live stream. It's 8:24 a.m. Yeah, Joe, I agree with your general thoughts on drones, but AVAV made the Switchblade 300. It is way too expensive at $90K a pop. The DoD cancelled orders. Oh, I did not know about that. Okay. The last I saw was the Defense Department took delivery of around 269 million or something worth of drones from AVAV. So that was the last information I had. I did not know that DoD canceled the orders. Thanks a lot. See, we are already seeing the benefits of having this retail community out here sharing intelligence, because as retail investors, we have to be humble. We have to say that we don't know stuff, and we should openly share information. So I'm sharing whatever I know of technical analysis and whatever I know of the things that I have read. And Joe here has definitely helped us a lot. Thanks, Joe, for that. And also David Best keeps on giving a lot of information out here about new stocks. And of course, David is more on a risky area, which is why I don't bring it too much into my portfolio. But I definitely picked up ALT from David, and I don't think it's a bad stock, but it's a riskier stock and it may pay off in the long run. And thanks, Joe, for your feedback. And if there is any other questions, I'd like to talk about it. If you want me to pick up any random stock that you have in mind that you want to do a technical analysis, please put that symbol in here. And I'll try to do a quick tech analysis of that without having any knowledge of the fundamentals. We can look at the fundamentals later. And I'll wait for a few minutes to see your response. If I don't get any response from anybody, then I think it's time to end the live stream. Okay, guys, so I think I'll try to bring this live stream to an end, and I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Oh, when I say tomorrow, I mean Monday. I'll also continue to make those videos that I make for genomics, where we are talking about a company in particular. And if there are some ideas that I have for 2 or 3 companies which are small pieces, not warranting a video for itself, then I would probably combine them and make it into one genomic video. I'll do the same thing for AI companies as well. And those will be released in general as separate videos. But the live stream is happening every morning before market, starting at 7:45 a.m. And as more and more people get involved in this, I think we'll find more value, because then I'll get feedback from you. I'll be more focused on delivering what you guys are looking for. And we probably might jointly come up with some trade ideas. With that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. Thanks and have a great day. Catch up with you again on Monday. Bye for now.